Hello, Naomi. Nice to see you
Hello.
today.
Yes, you too. Thanks for having me, Emily.
Oh, thank you so much for doing this. We're super excited to have you as part of our bill for this Saturday's Anne of Green Gables show with the Bushwick Book Club. Can you tell us a little bit about what drew you to being a part of this show?
Yes, I have always loved Anne of Green Gables, the whole series, really. But I think when I was a kid and I read it, what I connected to the most was Anne's ability to show up somewhere new and be like the weird new person, but somehow like find something to love and then have that love grow and like have everyone love Anne back and be able to do that pretty consistently with moving around a lot. Uh, and I moved around a lot as a kid. So I was like, oh my God, how does she do it? And
Yes, she is so inspired. Like her ability to just like, I'm just gonna do this thing, and she's fearless. I feel like she's so fearless.
yeah, yeah. Or like good at just plowing through the fears and also just being able to find something to love, even in a weird, maybe ugly place.
Right.
But after a couple days, it's home to her. It's
Right.
also kind of like that's a good skill for touring. Um,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, that her imagination, just everything like, oh, this isn't what I want. This isn't ideal, but hey, I can turn anything into what I want with my imagination. Like,
Mhm.
especially as an artist, that's such an inspiring, like, oh, yes, okay, we can make anything out of anything.
Yeah,
Very
exactly.
cool. Well, tell me a bit about your songwriting process. Is your song finished? Are you still in process? How's it coming?
It's finished. It's entirely 100% finished, maybe 110%.
Ooh,
I'm very confident about it because I usually don't write solo songs. I'm usually a collaborator. So this is like the
okay.
first time I've ever done this. So I wanted to be prepared.
Oh, cool. Well, that's exciting. How did you go about writing your song, especially since this was a rather different approach for you this time
Mhm.
around?
Yeah, like I've collaboratively written pretty much, any part of a song, but just I had to think about it a lot beforehand. Like my creative process, if I'm planning an event or planning something creative or doing some songwriting or anything, I kind of like let it rest around in my head for a while. So I reread the book and tried to think about like what stood out to me the most this time. And this time it was really all about Marilla. So I was thinking about her perspective and how she's very quiet and steadfast, doesn't say much, but like she thinks a whole heck of a lot. Like she's super chatty in her, perspective narrative parts, just not out loud.
Right.
And knowing that she's having all of these feelings about Anne all the time and Anne has no idea, was just, I was like, oh my gosh, like if only Anne knew.
Right. Yes, I'm actually reading the book for the first time. I just somehow never read it growing up, and so I'm like 20 pages away from the end. I'm getting really close, but that has totally struck me. There's so many times it's like, oh, like you just poor aunt, you know that she's feeling like she just so desperately craves this love and affection. It's like it's there. Like you have it and you don't know it. And that's just
Yeah, yeah. So that really spoke to me this time. And so I was sort of writing from Marilla's perspective. And so with the choruses, I went with like her looking internally. And so it's a very kind of plodding, steadfast beat, but a little off. And she's like also got a sense of humor and is a little, edgy for the time, even though she doesn't let it out much. So that's kind of the vibe I was going for with the chorus. It's a little like Ben Folds or something. And then the verses are her watching Anne like from a window and like thinking about Anne as Anne's enjoying the natural beauty of the world. And the other part that stuck out so much is like the descriptions of the trees and flowers and all of the plants, everything in nature. It's overwhelmingly rich.
yeah.
And so I was like this time picturing it sort of like a Miyazaki movie. And so I went with kind of a Joe Hisaishi vibe a little bit for the verse melodies and stuff. Yeah.
Well, I'm very excited to hear it. Are you up for sharing a little piece of it with us
Yeah,
too?
sure. I'll do just the keyboard. I'll also sing on Saturday, but
Okay,
quite ready for that
keep
yet.
that. Yes, we'll keep that
Yeah.
suspense. Cool.
So I'll just show you what I like kind of wrote the verse from first. This is sort of the hook. Etc.
Ooh, beautiful. It was unfortunately the Zoom, like I got
I'll turn original sound on. Is that I can I'll turn original sound on and then maybe it'll come through better.
okay, yeah,
Okay,
try
yeah.
one more time.
Okay, let's see. Is that better?
That is.
That is. And then there's yes.
That
And
already,
already
for me,
for
it
me it
sounds like
sounds like
the landscape that's being
being
described. It's
described. It's
so
so
like
like
mystical and
mystical and
beautiful,
beautiful
and
and
yeah, it
yeah, it
mirrors what's
mirrors
happening
what's
in
happening
the
in the
book.
book.
Could you
Could you
switch the
switch
sound?
the
I'm
sound?
getting
I'm
a
getting
bit
a
of
bit
a
of a
echo back. There we go. Perfect. Wow.
yeah.
Well, I can't wait to hear the rest of it. Thank you so much for sharing that. That was beautiful. And for everyone watching this right now, please come so you can hear the rest of Naomi's beautiful song on Saturday, this coming Saturday, April 8th at Town Hall Seattle, 7:30 p.m. Check out our Facebook, Instagram, website to get your tickets. You don't want to miss this show. We have a fantastic lineup, incredible artists writing beautiful music that you want to hear. Thank you so much, Naomi. What a pleasure. And I am so looking forward to hearing more of your song on Saturday.
Yeah, thank you, Emily. It was great to meet you.
You too.